Okay.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited
I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear? Can you hear us now, Jane? Okay, work on your system. We're going to come to you tonight. You can't hear? Go out and try to come back in.
Oh, good. I'm set.
There you are. Good. Great.
Brain dead moment for me. Oh
That's okay. All right, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, well, we are here tonight to talk a little bit about getting started, welcoming our new ambassadors. We've had a lot of excitement this last month. Jane has joined us tonight, and we're excited about that. And she's had sip and sees and talking to people up there in Wisconsin, so we're real excited to have her. Amber is with us. Amber is our Ruby upline, and she's going to talk to us a little bit tonight. And then Sherry is also going to share a little bit about compliance tonight. So Amber, do you want to start out with us?
Sure. We are recording this, and so any of those people who weren't able to join will be able to watch it. I'm Amber Ivy. I started in October 2013, and because I started years ago, I would have done things a lot different having known now everything we do know. So I wanted to touch on how important it is to train in your back office. When we started, we didn't have all the training modules in the back office where we could go through our entire back office and complete these little training videos and look at all the aspects of our back office. So at least for my team, I'm instituting a rule to sort of teach new ambassadors to first go into your back office, log on, go through all of those training, and it tracks the percentage. So if you stop and start, you'll pick back up right where you left off. Go through all of that training till it's at 100%. And when you have questions, come to your sponsor, your upline. Now, that's not to say you can't message us or call your sponsor if you have a quick question, but we really want you to get that company training that's so important. Even if you just plan to sell just wholesale and not really work it as a business, you just buy wholesale instead of working it as a business. You really want to get the company training. So that's super important. These Zoom calls are really important also. And Jane, again, we're so excited that you joined us. We weren't sure how many people would hop on, but we try to have these Zoom calls, and we're so excited that Michelle wanted to do one just for her downline and her team. So I encourage you to get your new ambassadors on these calls. I learn something every time I'm on them. So try to get your new ambassadors on it. If you have new ambassadors that have kind of done a little quick skim the surface training and you've gotten them kind of started off good and you want to get upline on a call with them, message any of us. We're happy to do that. We can set up a Zoom call and introduce ourselves, answer any questions they may have, add validity to your own testimony and to you as their sponsor. So that's always fun and exciting to get to meet new people via Zoom. So I encourage you to get people on those. You can do those with customer prospects also. We're happy to talk about products with anybody if they are thinking of becoming a customer. If you don't know the answer to something, I know that, Michelle has a lot of new ambassadors. If you don't know the answer and you're watching this and you have a customer prospect or an ambassador prospect that comes to you and you're brand new, you just started and they have a question and you have no idea what the answer is, message any of us, call us. I'm sure we've heard every question up to now. So ask us, we can help you. We can do a 3-way phone call, Zoom, to get those questions answered for you so you can feel more confident when you get those questions again. But it's so important to be trained. I have several level ones that are not active anymore and they just never wanted to do the training. And now that we have this huge back office that has all of this information that helps us with our business, it's so important to get that training. I think that's about it for me, but just get your people on the Zoom calls, get them trained, ask any questions you have of us, and that's about it. We can help. So Sherry, I'll turn it over to you. She's going to talk about compliance.
Okay, there is this issue I could spend an hour on, but tonight I'm just going to hit like the highlights of, I do know we have a lot of new people on the team, so I'm going to hit the highlights. One of the things that I want to show you first, And I did put on my team page today several of the new compliance letters, but everyone should have received a letter today. I highly recommend that you read that email and read each one of those letters. They're very, very important. They give you vital information. Also on my team page, I've put a link to the Plexus Way compliance video that was produced earlier in this year in March. I highly recommend you watch that too. For compliance, we're ruled by or governed by the FTC, the FDA, and 2 other agencies. And so it's very, very important that we follow compliance laws and rules and regulations for not only our own businesses, but to protect Plexus. Because for most of us, if we've been in for a while, these products did literally help us in some form or fashion. And if they're taken away from us because we get shut down for a compliance issue, a lot of us would be lost. So we don't want that to happen. So one of the first things, I'm not going to go into everything that you can find on these videos because you can do that yourself, but a couple of hints that will help you compliance-wise is Plexus does require us, if you're going to share on social media, which is the way most of us have built our businesses, that you put on your social media information that you are a Plexus Worldwide ambassador and your number. So I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. Let's see if I can do this. Let me try. Can I share my screen?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, let me try this.
Okay.
I don't know that it worked. Let me try it again. Let's see.
I think, yep.
There it
Okay.
goes.
So on Facebook, for example, this is what it would look like on Facebook. This is mine, where it says Plexus Worldwide Senior Gold Ambassador, and it has my number. They require us to put both that you're a Plexus Ambassador and your number there, okay? And that's going to do 2 different things. One is it lets the FTC, the FDA, or anyone that's looking at your site know who you are. The other thing it does is as you're posting, you don't have to use the word Plexus in every single post. It's in your introduction. So that allows you to not have to use that word all the time. The other
Jerry, we're actually just seeing a gray box there.
Yeah,
it's just showing it.
Yeah, it's just a black screen.
Okay, well, let me see if I can do it this way. How about this?
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's just a gray screen.
Let me
We
try.
can see we saw your mouse moving around, but we just saw a gray screen.
Okay, hang on. Let me try this one more time. Share screen.
Do you want me to try to go to your Facebook page and see if I can share you?
Yes, go. Yes, that'd be good. It's not going to let me show you these other posts though that I wanted to, but maybe I can guide you to them. I wonder why. Okay, I'm gonna try it while you're doing it too.
Okay.
Is it still gray?
No, but it's blurry.
Yeah, we can't read it.
Veil.
There we go.
Here we go.
Now we can see it.
Okay. So now you see where in the intro on Facebook, for example, that's what it says for myself.
Okay.
Is Plexus Worldwide. So that's also true of any other social media that you may have. Now I'm trying to get back to the video and I can't see it.
Just click stop sharing.
Oh, is that what I do? Okay, there we go.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. And that's true of any other social media outlet they're using. Twitter is one of the hardest ones to use, as I've learned. But as you get going, make sure that you have that information there. The other thing that I want to tell you that I've noticed on a lot of other people's Facebooks is they're putting their website there, and I've done it too, but there's really no reason for you to do that because you really don't want someone just going to your website and ordering without talking to you first.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do that, they will have to communicate with you either by phone, text, or on Messenger to get your website, and then you can walk them through it. So we've learned that that's probably not a good idea if you just leave your website off. Another thing on the website is if, as you're making posts, I'm getting kind of off track, but as you're making posts, I've noticed, and I did it too for the longest, is I'll put my website in the post or in the comment section. Again, not necessary. You don't really need to do it because you want them to contact you and then you be able to walk them through that. It also kind of makes sure as you go through looking at Facebook posts, it'll make your post look kind of salesy, which is something we want to try to get away from.
Yeah.
So if you just don't do that, then it won't look salesy. Okay. Compliance, it is, like I said, I could go on and on and on. That's one of the things. The other thing, let's see if I can share this again, because I want to show y'all. Let's see if it'll work. Non-compliant. I just found this one, and I hope this is not someone anybody knows. Can y'all see this?
Yes.
Okay. I personally, I don't know who this is, but I want to show you. This is a non-compliant post, and what I mean by that is I can pick up, I don't know, can y'all see my mouse as I'm moving it?
I see your mouse, but the words are really blurry.
Let's see if I can get them bigger. First of all, what makes this post incompliant, one thing, is the graphic itself. It shows a before and after picture, and we can no longer share a before and after picture unless it comes from Plexus themselves. So you have to submit your before and after picture to Plexus, and they'll send you your approved graphic that you can use. So this is non-compliant. A couple of other things. Well, if I can get it moving.
Now we can see it. Now we can read it.
Okay, perfect. So a few things, I didn't even read this post, but a few things that stood out to me initially was I saw narcotics, weight pain, I saw allergy medication, headaches, anxiety meds, these different things, narcotics for pain. Anything that a physician, let me unshare my screen here. Anything that a physician would ask you in a doctor's office, are you experiencing headaches? Are you experiencing pain? Do you have indigestion? Those type of words, buzzwords, we are not allowed to use. So as you're making posts, you can ask yourself, would a doctor ask me this? If he would, then just change the wording. I'm going to show you now. Let me do another one. I know I'm doing this quickly, so if you have any questions, please, don't hesitate to ask me later. Here is a compliant post, which will give you a difference in how it looks, how it's worded. Notice, first of all, it's just a family shot as far as the picture. And here, instead of saying headaches, she says chronic head discomfort. That's not something a doctor can ask you. Feeling nervous. I love how she words this. She has chronic head discomfort that left me holed up in my house in the dark every day. And the side effects of being stuck in my house, like feeling nervous and disconnected from everything around me. These products changed my life. Notice she says I dropped 6 pant sizes. She didn't say I lost 40 pounds or whatever. She says I dropped 6 pant sizes. I left my stomach issues and nervousness in the dark. The biggest achievement for me has been the chronic head discomfort. I haven't spent a day in bed since day 4 of using these products. That's a compliant post. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the difference in the wording a little bit. A couple of other things just to warn you against is when you're sharing in the back office for you new people, you can go into your back office and there's a shareables tab where you can share directly to your social media. That is awesome because what it does is it gives, if someone clicks on that, then it will direct them right back to your website for them to order. Now, be very, very careful about sharing someone else's post that has that in it because it's going to direct them back to their website.
Right.
Now, The other thing that I've noticed lately is that people are posting this from the website, but then they're also tagging maybe their teams or just anybody else, some other Plexus person that they've really, hit it off with. Be aware that tagging your teams on this is not necessarily a great idea, because anyone on their teams that click on it is going to be directed back to that website.
Mhm.
So anytime you're using any of these posts in the shareables in the back office, I would not tag people on it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that I've learned too. A couple of things to know in your posting that are like keywords that the FTC, the FDA, and Plexus will look for as you're making your posts, because you want them to be genuine. You also want them to be following the rules and guidelines by the FTC and the FDA. You want to watch for words like using Plexus all the time. Don't use the word Plexus all the time. If you've got it in your intro, they know you're a Plexus ambassador. Plus, if you don't use the word Plexus all the time, you won't look as salesy, and you won't drive your audience away from you. You'll drive them towards you. And it also makes you become a little bit more creative in your posting. And I've noticed since I've started doing this, I was telling Amber this, my likes on my post have gone up a lot. I used to get crickets on my post. No one would like it, but Plexus ambassadors. That's changing. So that's something to be aware of. The other thing I've noticed too, that's not necessarily not compliant, but, and I'm guilty of it too, where we'll put message me for details at the bottom of our posts. That looks, now that I'm looking back and I've learned some of the things I've learned, it is so salesy. Just instead of doing something like that, you could put like a hashtag, watch me or join me, something cute.
Mhm.
Does the same thing basically, and they're gonna message you if they're interested, right? So we don't really have to do that. Okay, I know I had some other things I want to just hit on real quick. Be very, very careful of sharing hashtags in your posts, because what this does, and be very careful of saying thank you Plexus, thank you Plexus, or thank you for my Plexus energy, or thank you Plexus. These are key words that will key in when they're looking for, to see who all is Plexus ambassadors, and that will clue them in you are, and they'll start watching you. So just be aware of that. Just some little tidbits. And hang on, I know I have some more I wanted to just tell you real quick. This is so easy to do. Be very careful of using the word pain. You don't want to use the word pain, another one of those trigger words. Again, I could talk all night. Those are some of the things that I've learned. I know I'm missing something that's really, really important. Hashtags. Be careful of the word anxiety, depression. Those key words that Plexus people, we talk about these things all the time, but be careful of it. The thing also that something I've just learned is if you share your post publicly, be aware that does mean that anyone can see it, including the FTC, including the FDA. Anybody can see those posts. And for the longest, for you new folks, we told people to post publicly because it would reach a larger audience. However, we're now finding out it's probably best that you just keep it to your friends, because that way these outside, and it's not that they can't see your post, because they can. And as you're learning to be compliant, I think it's really important that you just keep your posts to friends only. So those are just some tricks that I've learned lately on how to be compliant. Am I missing something, Amber, that I've talked to you about? I should have wrote my notes.
No, I think the only thing you and I were concerned about as leaders is that the things that we post on our team pages that we may want to share with our audience that's just on our team that may be non-compliant. We need to be very careful at the very beginning to say, hey team, go ahead and read this. Please do not share at all. This is non-compliant. But we want to let you know that Cindy Lou now has gotten relief from whatever. We can still share those among us ambassadors, but just make sure, especially for those new people, when we're training them and we're saying, hey, you can share anything that I post. If you see something I have, you can copy it, paste it, and do it as your own. If we're doing that in our team page, we need to make sure we put that disclaimer at the top to let them know, hey, this is just for my team. I just want to let you know this is a great testimony. And I also want to suggest to our team that have been on long enough to go through the we could share, now we can't share, is to go in and revamp your testimony. Make it compliant. Take your why video, take your testimonial video. I know a lot of us did that in the very beginning because Brainy had a big contest for that when I first signed on. Make sure it's compliant now so that you can share it with a new audience that, you know, may have not known that you were Plexus related or in Plexus at all. But that's one thing I want to make sure us as leaders when we're doing our team pages is to make sure, hey, this is non-compliant. I'm just sharing this as an FYI. Please do not share at all. Just want you to read it. Just so we can still, I mean, we can still talk about it amongst ourselves, but just don't let people start throwing those things out there. So I think that was the other thing we talked about.
Well, and as you're talking, I'm thinking of a couple of other things that I remember being new that I didn't know, and I didn't, and for the longest we could, and now we can't, is that be aware that you can't post products and their pricing on your social media. That's a no-no.
Right.
Also, there was something else. Oh, graphics. Prior to just recently, you could share these cute graphics. They're different ones. And I had some, let me see if I can find one real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. And they're really cute. However, they're not compliant anymore. Share screen. There we go. Let's see. Well, this isn't one of the cuter ones. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So, like, even though this is cute, how to avoid, it's not compliant. And the reason why, and I couldn't find one for tonight's Zoom, in order for a graphic to be compliant and for you to be able to post it to social media, it must have gone through Plexus compliance, and they will put their compliance code on it. And all of, let me stop sharing. All of those graphics are now expired. So be very, very careful if you are copying and pasting from anyone else, including Upline, including your higher ranked ambassadors. Because some of you may be seeing a post that was posted a few months ago, and that graphic is no longer compliant because it has to be in the expiration date and with the number on it. And they are not approving any graphics right now. They all should be coming from the shareables in our back office. Okay, so be really, really cautious of that too.
Dina just texted us to say that Plexus Business Builder has all the compliant graphics in the Business Builder.
Okay, so, perfect, awesome. Okay, and so the other thing for those of us that have been around for a while, as you get some downtime, it would probably be to your benefit to go back and start looking at some of those older posts, because as I've been going through mine, I noticed that I have before and after pictures that are showing. We used to do that all the time. We would post our before and after pictures, and I had tons and tons of them, and they're not compliant. And as a leader, for sure, being a leader, you don't want your team to come in and duplicate that by getting on your Facebook and seeing it and go, oh, that's great. Because I've even noticed recently some of my posts from 2 years ago they're being shared. So I want those to be removed so they're not floating around in social media.
Right.
And so I'm really cautious of that, and especially if you're one of us that's been around for a while, to go back and look at those posts, because you're going to be surprised when you start looking at them and go, wow, I didn't even realize I was posting those. So just be cautious of it. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Text me, call me.
Happy. Perfect. Well, thank you, Sherry. All right, Michelle, you want to wrap it up?
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, watching later as we post this. I just wanted to touch on a couple of other things, especially for the new people. Some of the things that you want to do is make a list of people you know, family and friends who might need these products or who might be interested in them. On Thursdays, we get an email with a Diamond documentary. Watch those. You can actually find those in the back office to watch more, and you can find a lot of them on YouTube. Go and watch those Diamond documentaries and listen to what they said, because they can really be inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
But also stay in touch with our team. You know, I try to post things, read the post, comment on them. If you have a question, post things yourself. If you see something, if you're excited about something, jump on the team page and post it, because we want to celebrate that with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets excited about a milestone, and we want to celebrate those milestones with you. But most importantly, if you're talking to people and it's taking you a little bit of time to get them to come around to even try the products, or maybe they've tried them and they haven't really said much about it, you know, just talk to them. Don't necessarily talk Plexus to them all the time, every time you see them, because it's good. It's a possibility that they will come up to you and you'll just be talking and they'll go, oh, by the way, something blah, 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 Plexus.
Right.
And that's your opening right there to jump back in. Just because you talk to them, just because they try their 1, 2, or 3 day sample, doesn't mean that the next day they're going to sign up. You may talk to them for a month, you may talk to them for 6 months, but if they see the benefits in the product, and they should, if they actually tried them, because, you know, face it, we're not all there to see them trying them, they will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Something will happen and they will come back to you. I never, ever talked to Sherry about it. I just saw her posting, and one day I called her and said, do you think this will help me? And she brought me a sample, and, you know, my samples were gone, and I called her and said, I have to have this stuff. But I never, ever even indicated that I might have been interested in it. In fact, I wasn't. I mean, I was just saying I really didn't know anything about it. But then one day it just hit me and I called her. So don't give up on your people. I know it gets discouraging, but keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, they say go for the no, and we go for it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all for tonight. Amber, did you want to?
Yeah, Jane, I just want to thank you for your commitment and for being on here. We wondered as leaders how many people on Michelle's team would be on, just because this was our first Zoom call for her team. So I want you to let me know if you would like X Factor or Mega X, and we're going to send that out to you for being on the call and taking time out of your night to do that. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're going to start doing these Zoom calls, and if you're actually on the Zoom call when we are doing it, then we will be doing drawings during those Zoom calls.
Yes. Some incentives to get that team on the calls. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording real quick.